If I were to decide that I wanted to help get Kent Smith elected to the California State Senate, and based on seeing this tape or hearing from a friend of mine or having traveled through Nevada City and seeing something in print, I believe where I would start is by contacting the Kent Smith for State Senate committee, which I believe is based in Nevada City, in Nevada County. There are 13 counties in the first State Senate district. But I don't believe that I would wait for necessarily them to do it for me, because I tend to take personal responsibility when I'm organizing politically in a remote area. So I would contact them to find out what they're doing, what their plan is, what materials are available. But I would probably make my second step to go directly to the county seat, to the county registrar of voters, to look at a map and find out what my precinct number is, or look at my voter registration card and find out what my precinct number is, and ask for a list of the registered voters in my precinct, because I would start by taking personal responsibility for winning the election in my own community. A Senate district is large. There are actually less Senate districts in California than there are U.S. Congress districts, which means that a state Senate district is bigger than a congressional district. And that's large. There's 13 counties. So I don't like to think about winning in 13 counties. I like to think about something I can do. And what I can do is deliver the vote in my neighborhood by talking to my neighbors one-on-one. So I would get that list, and I wouldn't be concerned that perhaps if I'm in Modoc County, maybe I'm the only registered Green in my precinct. Maybe there are only 5 of us. My concern would be to talk to my neighbors. Now, assuming that you want to do this, there must be a reason you want to do it. So I would frame my conversations around why I'm motivated to work for Kent Smith, why I think the Green Party has a program that's important. And that would be the first line of what I would discuss, because it comes from my heart and I'm motivated. The second thing I would do is find out what motivates them, how they're making their decisions on who to vote for State Senate. If you come across somebody who says, I was born a Republican, my parents were Republican, I always vote for the Republican, you're probably not going to turn them around. But find out what the local issues are. Find out what the Green Party and what Kent Smith's position is on them and get back to them. And I think you should set up a house party. I think you should set up a time. I think you should try very hard to get Kent to come to the house party. One of the best ways to do that is by getting commitments from a number of people that they'll actually be there. Because, like I said, there's 13 counties, and Kent can't be everywhere all over the northeastern corner of the state at the same time. But get a hold of the campaign, let them know that you're expecting 15 people, 20 people. If you can't get Kent, there's some videotape that should be available, which is one of the reasons this is being taped right now. And invite your neighbors. Talk to them one-on-one. If you make your goal delivering the people who are interested in the kind of change that Kent's promoting in your community, then you will have won the election. And what we need is a lot of people to take responsibility for winning this election in their own communities. House party is one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is just get on the phone to everyone you know. Most people don't discuss who they're going to be voting for State Senate. People sit around coffee shops and talk about Perot dropping out of the race and whether they think the Democrats can win this time. Most people can't name the incumbent state senator. It really is worth just talking to them about it. Plus, people tend not to take the position that a Green can't win for State Senate. Some people may say that to you, but it's not like running for President of the United States. If more people vote for Kent Smith, he'll win. It's really that simple. So what you do is it's one voter at a time, and it's your community. And at that level, it's winnable, because there will be precincts where Kent Smith wins if people win their precincts. If enough people do that, the district can be won. So to me, it comes down to personal responsibility, which is certainly one of the values in the Green Party. When you're down at the registrar's office picking up the list of registered voters in your community, I strongly advise that you pick up as many voter registration cards as is reasonable, maybe a pile of 50, if it's convenient to go back and get more later. If not, pick up 100 or so. The other thing the registrars usually have available is a list of legal requirements on registering voters. What you can legally fill in for them, if anything, the signature, explaining what the boxes are in the registration. I could probably do about a half-hour explanation right now. I don't know that that's the best use of your time right now. I would ask the registrar for any information on how to properly register voters. One of the things that's optional is the phone number, but as you'll find from calling people in your community, you're going to want to encourage them to put their phone number, because that way you're able to reach them, and also if the registration isn't correct, the county is able to reach them and correct it in time for the election. For the November election, I believe that the cutoff of registration is October 4th. They can give you the exact date. But up until October 4th, one of the most important things you can do is register voters. There are two ways to go about this. The simple way is to always carry registration cards, and as you're out talking to people, ask them if they're registered, and if they aren't, register them. That's a real simple way, and you'd be amazed if you really remember to do it, that you'll be registering several people a day if you're out working in an environment where you see a lot of people. Otherwise, I recommend that you get on the phone, and as you're talking with people about voting for Kent, you also encourage them to come out with you on a weekend, go to the local market and set up a card table, or I usually use an ironing board because it doesn't block entrances, it's at the right height for people to write at. Ironing boards are really nice for registration. And set up a little sign that says Kent Smith for State Senate, register to vote here. And register people to vote. Registering people to vote is probably the highest priority in a campaign up until the close of registration. And I can't encourage you too much. I've worked on 13, 14 or so campaigns, and there's a certain amount of it that can be made very technical and very mystical. You hear a lot about the polling, a lot about television commercials, and a lot of this is getting more and more influential on national elections. But even though this is over 13 counties, this is still a very close-to-home election. And most of what needs to be done in order to win are the things people have been doing politically for hundreds of years. It's not highly technical, it's not very difficult. It's talking to people about why they should support the candidate that you're working for, and about bringing about the kinds of changes in the community that people need, and listening to people, and finding out information and getting back to them. It's not that different from running for student council, it's not that different from running for city council, it's not that different from elections that have been going on in this country for 200 plus years. It's not that technical and difficult that you can't do it, and I encourage you to get involved. Don't leave it to these specialists and the authorities.